I definitely feel like anything fitness wise that is taking my attention span and it's physical, I'm willing to try.
Yeah. When you say fitness is more of your passion, you don't do other hobbies or anything like that?
Um, I would say like fitness is a big hobby of mine because like this purple thing up here, it's an aerial silk. And so like I'm big into anything that's physical. And basically like you climb up it. It's what acrobats use in like Cirque du Soleil. And I've always been
Okay.
big into different things like that in fitness. So I'm not geared to just one thing. I take up a lot of hobbies. I stay busy. I have a lot of different things that I like to do, and I take up a lot of different hobbies at one time and then find what I'm most passionate about and kind of go from there.
Yeah. I could show some clips of you flexing and stuff. You know, let me see. I just had it, but yeah. Yeah. So
I
yeah,
was
this
taking my supplements.
did like on your first show, did they have anything about like your tattoos? Did they have anything to say about it or?
No, and that was something that I was worried about. But I did meet Sandy, who is a judge in the IFBB Pro League, and she organizes a lot of stuff. And she was at the first posing clinic that I went to. And I asked her personally, like, are my tattoos and my piercings going to affect my placement or like the judge's perspective of me? And she said, no, that doesn't matter. And at the show at the time, I didn't take out any of my piercings, and I had like big cheek piercings in. And I didn't notice that my tattoos really made a difference once that tan was on and that glaze, that like you can still see the muscularity. And I mean, I placed really well for like my first show, and I got what I came for. And so overall, I wouldn't say that it's something to be concerned about, but I do think that it probably is personal preference to each judge, how they feel based on your personal presentation of yourself and how you look with them. Like if you walk out and you don't seem well put together, and if I wouldn't have had my hair done and my nails done and my makeup done right, and I walked out with, tattooed body and a bunch of piercings in my face, it might not have looked as nice. But like I interchanged all my piercings with like clear ones that had little diamonds on it. So I wasn't walking out with like black piercings on and like different colored ones. I kept it all the same and everything matching. So I think just keeping yourself together and looking presentable is like really what they're looking for. And everything that I was wearing down to my nails and my toenails and my eye makeup all matched. So I think that's a big thing that they're looking for is, do you look well put together? Even if you may have tattoos or piercings, are you presenting them and showcasing yourself appropriately?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not easy. Like, do you see like it as a sport, or do you see it like as a pageant, like bodybuilding?
I would say it's both. I would look at it like it is a sport to most people, and it's something like we consider ourselves athletes. But for myself personally, it's not that I don't take it seriously. I think that I'm just more open-minded to like I'm passionate about it. And like at my first show, I wasn't disappointed, or even in my second show of how I placed. I was happy to be there and happy to be a part of it, and always have the mentality of it's me versus me. Like, I don't care about the other women on stage. I'm not really like, even though I'm competing with them, I'm really competing with myself of who I was last year and the year before. So it's all about bettering who I am. And I don't really pay attention to the background noise. I stay in my own lane and I just come to outdo myself. And I think that that's a good, healthy perspective to have. But there's a lot of people that are a lot more competitive in nature of, being disappointed if they don't place the way that they want to in a show, or feeling like they have to go to extremes to get the body that they want to be able to look a certain way for their next show. And I see in the industry too, it affects people mentally. going
Yeah.
to a show and not doing as well as what they thought because they've put the past year into trying to get there. And I think that I'm humble about it. I don't expect anything except doing better than I was before. I don't expect to be better than somebody else unless that is something I deserve. So I think having that humble mind state to it is just going to make it more fun and be able to be more passionate about it rather than it being a stressful experience going through prep and competing.
Yeah, yeah. It's not very easy. Everybody can't do it,
Yeah.
So, yeah. How close are you to Dearborn?
I'm
And
about 4 hours away.
then he asks, he's saying it's depending on the judges. Some judges are much of a fan of any external body modification. Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as it's not really interfering with your physique,
Yeah.
you probably can get away with it. I know
Yeah.
there's people that's not too crazy about tattoos, so
Yeah.
that's why I asked. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
All of my
so
feedback from the judges, no one has ever mentioned my tattoos or piercings reflecting my placement or how they judged me. But he's very right. It's really personal preference to the judge and if they think it interferes with your physique or your presentation.
yeah, like during like your show, like your first show, like how many competitors were there, like in bikini?
Bikini, there was so many. I think that there was like 10 of us. And figure, there was 5 of us. So in figure, there were not as many girls that signed up compared to bikini, but there was a lot of bikini girls at my first show.
Was were you like in a class like AEC or D or something like that? Because I noticed that they have like different classes and stuff.
Yeah, I was in multiple different classes because like for bikini and for figure, I was in my height class, which was like, I think 5'4" to 5'6", but don't quote me on that because I don't remember all the details of that. But then they had like true novice, and open. So you went on stage 3 separate times with like 3 different groups of girls, depending on their height and what categories they were in. And sometimes some wouldn't come back out. Sometimes other people would. But to be honest, it being my first show, I was like really focused on myself. And like, I couldn't tell you any of the girls' names I even competed with at either show. Because you're out there and you're blinded. You're not really looking around. You're trying to look at the judges. So you're not really paying attention to the people by you. And you also don't really see anybody who's out there. And it's so loud. You're just waiting for your name to be called. It's very hard to pick up on other things going on. And maybe that's just a personal experience, but with it being my first show, I was, in the zone in my own little world, just like trying to do what I needed to do. And I didn't pay much attention to everything else going on.
Yeah, I guess you had your game face on, so I can get that. Yeah, it's not easy. Were you like too nervous, like to a point? Was there a lot of people like in the background, like in the audience, or anything like that?
When you were on stage, you cannot see who's in the audience and you can't make it out. And not just that, but like I wear glasses. I didn't wear my glasses on stage. So I really couldn't see like anybody. Like I couldn't make out people that were out there. I could see like 3 of the judges because I was in front of them at one point when I got changed into the middle. And then I was able to see like where the judges were, but you really don't see too much past that. Like it's very hard to make anything out because those lights are so bright in your eyes. It really does just blind you.
Yeah. What do you feel is your best physical feature?
I am told by many people that like my back is the most muscular part on my body and looks the best. I think that my best physical feature are my biceps. But I mean, it's what I feel and what other people tell me. So
What you feel like you need to grow more? Like, if I could ask you that
My
question.
legs, like my legs for
Yeah.
sure. 110%. My legs is what I've been focusing on the most. I haven't even really worked upper body in the past couple of months due to an injury. So I've really been focusing on growing my legs and improving in that because my legs were really tiny. I mean, I played football and hockey and wrestling in high school. So my upper body just develops way more quickly than anything else. So like I don't even really need to work it like I did before, and just trying to focus on growing my legs because they need it.
Yeah, you played football and hockey and all that type of stuff, but like there were like a lot of girls there, like playing football.
No, like at the school that I went to, girls were not like supposed to play those sports. And I grew up in Canada, so like
No.
things were a little bit different whenever I went to high school there. And then I went and changed high schools halfway through and went to high school in Ypsilanti. I went to Lincoln High School for a couple days and then I went to the alternative high school there. So I've been like back and forth a lot just because my parents were divorced. They both lived in different countries and so I was frequently traveling back and forth, but I got into football and hockey and wrestling and there were no other girls on the team except one other girl on the wrestling team. And it was because our parents complained that there was not women's teams and that if we wanted to do it, that we had the right to do it. So I played boy sports. All growing up, I had more guy friends. Like I've always kind of been a tomboy. I wear a lot of pink and black, but I definitely have more of a masculine personality, which is sometimes a downfall for my husband. So
You don't seem like you have like a masculine personality too much. You
no,
seem
but
like
I'm
you're
not
just
mad
quiet
yet.
or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
What,
funny.
cuss people out or something? Or what we talking about? I could imagine you in prep or something. I don't know. Like I hear a lot of stories about, sometimes, women, man, y'all turn green when certain things happen. Y'all don't like it,
Yeah.
Y'all have like this stigma a little bit, but yeah. So I mean, especially not just women, but I think bodybuilding in general, it has like a stigma where it's not
Yeah.
really like a popular thing and stuff. But
Yeah.
I do notice that a lot of people, they do work out. They were like you. They weren't like into bodybuilding, but then something kind of made them take that route, and they was just hooked. And yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like you ever well, what was I about to ask? It just the question just does. But I see a comment. Tomboys are usually the most intense. Yeah. Well, what was it like child be like competing with the guys as a girl, like that you were like the only girl in these
Um,
sports?
I feel like for me personally, it always it's gonna maybe come out wrong, but I felt more proud of myself competing with men and having the ability to knock over men that were bigger than me. I liked being swift enough and almost making men feel insecure about themselves that they were getting, slammed by a girl and that I was able to overpower them. And I feel like that's always been like a big thing for me. And like I dress way differently now. Like I've done a lot of personal growth and a lot of personal healing, but I used to dress like a straight dude. Like for many years, I
Yeah.
dressed like a guy and wore all guys' clothes. And so it's taken some like healing in my feminine era to like even start wearing pink. I used to be like straight goth, like skater look, wore black all the time. My hair was dyed black. And so I've changed a lot over the years. Like I'm 28 now. And when I was in high school and through, my early adult years, I just dressed way differently and presented myself differently. I've worked really hard to change personality traits and things about myself that I just felt like were more trauma related rather than it being truly who I was. So, this bodybuilding experience, and since, the age of 25 and my brain fully developing, I've done a lot of self-searching to find out who I am and who I want to be for myself, and not be defined by the things that have happened to me, if that makes sense.
No, I get it. I mean, it's better than transforming,
Yeah.
if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because yeah, I mean, it's better than transforming because you don't want to be like displaying too much masculinity, and
Yeah.
that's I noticed that there's some bodybuilders that I see, and I'll be like, whoa, they look like a man. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, they do. I mean, it's the truth, and then people see that, and they just have like this negative outlook, especially with women with muscles and stuff, and you don't want
Yeah.
to always display this masculine features too much.
Yeah. Exactly.
You, yeah, and it's like different divisions. You got the bikini. You got wellness, you got the women physique, and you got women's bodybuilding. You got figure and fitness also, and
Yeah.
fitness, the new fitness model
Fit
thing that
model.
people
Yeah.
don't like. Yeah. What should you do? You like it? Do you think that's interesting or to you, or it's
No. Like,
okay?
I'm just going to be honest. There's some girls who I see that look good in the fit model division. But personally, I think they look good because they're almost to bikini. So they have enough
Yeah,
muscularity where I'm like, no, they look like they're, beginning their journey. But a lot of women I see in the fit model, competitions, it's a little disheartening when you're putting in so much time and effort. And I'm not saying that women in fit model are not putting in time and effort. I just think that that's more of like a transformation category that needs to be opened up. Like, if we're not going to be based on muscularity and looking different than